All right. Welcome back to Trolls Toys. Figure reviews, toy hunts, unboxing and rankings, etc. All right. Welcome back for another unboxing and display video. And we're going to give this a whirl. I don't know how well it's going to work. I got a pretty small toy room. But if you watched last week's toy haul, we picked up the Dragonfly XH-1. We already had Glinda and Crazy Legs that we'd found in the wild at That's Entertainment and in Worcester, and at the Emporium of Retro and Interesting Collectibles in Easton, Massachusetts a week ago. Last Tuesday, basically, we found the Dragonfly XH-1 and Ripcord. That's what he had, was the helicopter and Ripcord. So we don't have Wild Bill, but we have everything else. So we'll get a look at the instructions here and see if we can do this in the video, right? So it's showing step one, which looks like is to put on the tail section and the rotor and the sides. Step two is to attach guns, it appears. And it shows that we could have somebody like, I don't know, I'm assuming that's Ripcord or Crazy Legs, one or the other. Right, so we're gonna have Wallace, Ripcord, Weems, Jane, Glinda, Mulligan, or Mullahan, and David, Crazy Legs, Thomas. We're not gonna have William, Wild Bill, Hardy. We got everything other than that. The guy at the Emporium had decided to piece it out, so he'd already sold Glinda and Crazy Legs and Wild Bill. But we had Glinda and Crazy Legs. So once again, like I said, just missing Wild Bill. We'll have to keep our eye out for him at a reasonable price, or maybe Hasbro hopefully comes out with a retro card version. Or hell, maybe we just find a stand-in 6-inch figure that's wearing a cowboy hat in the interim. But we'll figure something out. So we'll try to follow along with these instructions and see if we can get this done in our limited space. I hope it will fit here. I did the dimensions. I moved the sewer layer and the turtle display. So I'm hoping it's going to go right here. Wish me luck. So damn, right out the gate, I'm already concerned if it's going to fit where I want it to fit, because here's the first half of the Dragonfly. And I'm thinking my best bet is it takes batteries. I should probably install those before I get this big bastard put together fully. So we'll probably do that first thing. All right, so we got the batteries installed. Not quite sure what they do yet, but I figured it might be easier to get them in now than later. So we went ahead and did that. So the next step is to attach in the tail section. So I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get all this on camera, so we'll attach the tail section in and then we'll be back. Now we've got the tail section pegged in, and it's gonna be pushing it. I don't even know how wide the stand is. I am skeptical if this is gonna fit, but I did not realize it's quite so big, but it is looking quite cool already. All right, looks like we have to assemble the rotor. It comes in 3 pieces. Here's the center portion. And then we have the 2 big rotor blades right there. And then we have these 2 that plug in on the sides. So I think we'll start with these and then we'll move on. All right, we've got the 2 side pieces in that looks like it holds the guns and all that kind of good stuff. Stabilizers, I don't know what the hell it's called. I'm no military expert. Right. And now it looks like we're supposed to assemble the rotor and then put in the small sections on the tail fin. So now we've got the rotor on. I guess we're going to move on to these back fins. All right, now we've got the back fins on the Dragonfly, and we'll move to what's next. We put on these and these, and this thing is massive. I mean, I know it's got to be big, but it's bigger than I thought it was going to be. All right, up next, it looks like we're going to peg in this piece on either side right here, like so. So we'll get that done. We also have this piece that pegs in underneath the wing, or the little side stabilizer. I'll probably do that first, actually. So that piece that pegged in below is obviously the ammo feed for the gun. which we also now have pegged in. It looks like here's where you get to choose what goes here, either missiles or like a machine gun attachment. So I guess you can do either or, because it's showing they both peg in at the same spot, and then this winch mechanism pegs in on the other side of the Dragonfly. Right, so we got these on and we got these on. Like I said, it's hard for me one-handed to show everything. I apologize, but we're just working through the process. Decals come with it. I guess it's like you can put whatever decals you want on it. I haven't done that yet. Maybe I should have done that first, but the only thing it's shown to put on so far is if you're going to use these, you put chips on the right side and you put salsa on the left side. But I don't know if we're going to do that yet. But it comes with like a variety of different decals. Alright, so you get 2 missiles, one for each side, and you get blast effects for each side if you wanted to use them to show like the missiles firing. So I think we're going to put a blast effect on one side and leave it off the other side for the time being and see how that looks. It's again very limited for space, but there's the blast effect. And then the other side, we just have the missile for the time being. And then it said to take this little tail cover off. So I did that. You know, I'm not sure why, but it does show removing it, or you can remove it, I suppose, if you want. And if you do, the end looks like that. I'm not sure if it matters. Right, and then it goes through showing us how the cockpit doors open, what other doors open, like this one right there, and this one down here. And then we got the cockpit doors, and then it goes through showing us how to put the figures in the Dragonfly. Yeah. And it shows us how to use the light feature. I don't see anything about the stand. There is one, so maybe we'll get the stand out and see what that says. You do also get smaller blast effects for, I'm not sure what they're for yet, but they're here. All right, so we got the Dragonfly on the stand. Right, I haven't put any decals on it yet, but it does have quite a few. The one I'm thinking about using is the decal on the base, the Dragonfly. But if you're more of a Wild Bill guy, I guess you got those. You have sort of your more traditional stickers, right? And if I was probably put these on, but I don't know. And then you got more, I don't know what you'd call these, but that's your choice as well. I'm probably just gonna leave it displayed as is. I'm not much on customizing yet. It does come with a nice little, this little bar to help keep that stabilized. I'm not sure how much I trust this stand yet. We're going to try to get it into its position. I haven't got any figures in it yet either, so I might take it back off the stand. But I think for now what we're going to do is we're going to get it out of the way, and we're going to open up the figures, the 3 of the 4 figures that we have that we're going to display with the Dragonfly. It looks like it can hold 2 inside, and then it's got pegs here and here on each side. So it looks like a total of 6 figures that you could get on there if you were so inclined. So in my moment of truth, it does fit, right? And I got it where I won't hit this wing when I'm walking by my tight little ass space. And we barely have clearance over here for the rotor on this end, but that's okay, right? Dragonfly looking pretty good. We're gonna get the figures out that we have. We'll go through those, and then we'll get them some figures displayed on the Dragonfly. So the smaller blast effects are for when you're, the larger of the 2 smaller blast effects are for when you're firing the missiles, and I believe the smaller blast effect is when you're Gatling gunning to show the rounds coming out the back. We may use 1 missile on, or the Gatling gun on this side, since we have the missile firing, and put the missile launcher on the other. I'm not sure yet. All right, we're gonna grab the figures. All right, so once again, as I mentioned, I'm missing Wild Bill because I got the Dragonfly in an unorthodox manner. When I first started collecting, I found Crazy Legs. Somebody had just bought the Dragonfly and traded in the figures, and they'd sold all of them. Well, sorry, this is Ripcord Shambles. they had sold all of them. That's Entertainment had already sold all the figures except for Crazy Legs. So I was able to pick him up in package. And that was like February maybe. And then like 3 weeks ago at That's Entertainment in Worcester, I found Glenda pre-owned. I think she's got all of her gear. So we found her, somebody had traded her in, so we had picked her up. And then on June 17th at the Emporium of Retro and Interesting Collectibles in Easton, Massachusetts, we found Ripcord from the Dragonfly, and the guy goes, "Hey, I got the Dragonfly in the back." And as you saw, I pulled the trigger, right? But he'd already sold Wild Bill, so we don't have Wild Bill. So we'll need to put somebody in the second spot. Not sure who yet. I got Airborne on one of the Fortnite gliders. I'm thinking I'm going to steal the 60th anniversary action pilot. I got him on the other glider currently with Airborne. And I'll probably replace, or we may also use Starduster on the Dragonfly. I'm not sure. We may just replace the pilot on the glider. I had two pilots. One I'd bought in pack and one I'd got loose from That's Entertainment. So I just traded mine that I'd never opened back to That's Entertainment. So maybe should have kept him. But you know, who knows? We'll figure it out. We could use anybody. We got like 3 versions of Duke, so we could put him in there if we have to. Or Flint, or you know, one of our repeat figures. But maybe we'll use Starduster. So I normally like to start out reading file cards, but I can't find an English file card on Glenda because I don't remember her. I don't think she was released in the States when I was younger. It's the only ones I can find in Spanish, and my Spanish sucks. So apologies on that. But there's Glenda, right? And let me see if I can get some more lights on here. Apologies, I'm not a pro. Just do this shit for fun. Right, she does come with 2 alternate hair sculpts, it appears. If you don't like the one that she's equipped with. She comes with the harness. She has a pistol. She comes with Fists of Fury, if you were so inclined. She does come with a weapon, although she's going to be our pilot, so she also comes with a backpack to which you and a helmet. And yeah, see, it's even in Spanish, a nod to her heritage right here on the back. So, and it looks like we also did get the harness that you attach to the if you're going to use the winch to lift a figure up in the Dragonfly with Glenda. So that's nice. I was trying to figure out what this was, but that's got to be what that is. So that's great. So Glenda is looking pretty good. Like I said, I'm not familiar with her. I think she's just on the Scarlet Buck with a different head sculpt for the most part. But she's looking pretty smooth. All right, we're going to move on to number 145 in the classified series, Crazy Legs, who I got to start out by saying looks nothing like the Crazy Legs that I remember from when I was a child, because I'm pretty sure he wore bright red, right? Red and gray. Code name Crazy Legs, Assault Trooper. File name Thomas David O. Primary military specialty Infantry. Secondary military specialty Parachute Rigger. Birthplace Fort Dodge, Iowa. Grade E4. Crazy Legs could have been the greatest organist in the world if his fingers weren't too short. The Airborne Rangers don't care how perfectly he can play Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor. They're only concerned with his willingness to jump out of a helicopter onto a hot LZ with nothing but a rifle, a couple of grenades, and the best wishes of your commanding officer. Crazy Legs is Airborne Ranger qualified and has been cross-trained as a forward artillery observer. And maybe the black makes sense because he's Night Force Crazy Legs. But he does have red accent in a couple of spots and on his backpack, which is nice. He comes with a red baseball cap if you'd like. Or he comes with a traditional helmet. I'm probably going to use the baseball cap, I ain't going to lie. I know it would make more sense if he's jumping out of planes and shit to use the helmet, but we'll see. He does come with a weapon, right? Like an assault rifle. He comes with a knife, which looks like all G.I. Joes it pegs in on the figure. If I put it in the right way, shambles. There we go. He does have a pistol, which we'll get into his holster, just so I don't lose it. And I'd heard some people saying their crazy legs broke when they took him out of the package, and luckily mine did not. So I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but he has survived thus far, which is good. And he comes in 2 different sets of goggles. One I'm assuming that fits over the helmet, and one that you just use if you're not using the helmet. Right, so there's Crazy Legs looking pretty fly. Right, yeah. So Night Force does make sense, right? Hence why he would be in black. But I do like how they gave him some red accent nods back to his class 3 3/4 retro, you know, back in the day figure from when I was little, whatever the hell you call it, vintage 3.75 inch Joe version. All right, now we're going to move on to number 143 in the classified series, Night Force Ripcord. Halo Jumper, high altitude, low opening, code name Ripcord, file name Weems Wallace A, primary military specialty airborne infantry, secondary military specialty demolitions, birthplace Columbus, Ohio, grade E4. Let's say you got a trouble spot you can't sail, walk, or ride in, so you send a plane in so high that it can't be seen or heard. Ripcord jumps and drops like a rock for thousands of feet, then opens his chute at the last possible moment to avoid visual and electronic detection. What he does once he hits the ground, you don't want to hear about. All right, here we've got Ripcord out of the package, and I had to take a moment because I had a fig catastrophe. But he looks slightly similar to, I thought he was a copy of Airborne. He was a copy of Airborne, but he's not. The Halo Jumper is a copy of Airborne, but he is very similar. Like, he has basically the same backpack as the Halo Jumper, the 60th anniversary, and I'm pretty sure same helmet accessories here, right? He does come with a pistol, and he comes with 2 different weapons of your choosing, and he comes with goggles as well, right? So once again, 3 out of the 4. I don't know who our 4th member is going to be. We are going to open up Starduster since we don't have him open yet, and he is going to be, he's got a jetpack, so we can display him with the Dragonfly somehow. So we'll get Starduster open, and then we're going to figure out who's going to take the 2nd seat in the Dragonfly. I'm not quite positive at this juncture. So up next for our Dragonfly team, we're going to use number 136 in the classified series, Edward Starduster Schuyler. And we'll read his file card as well. Codename Starduster, Jetpack Trooper, file name Schuyler Edward J. Primary military specialty, infantry. Transportable air recon. Secondary military specialty, helicopter assault. Birthplace, Burlingame, California. Starduster was a circus trapeze artist when he enlisted in the Airborne Rangers. He quickly found that his acrobatic skills and boundless energy would come in handy when swinging from a 150-foot rope. But now he did his famous routine suspended from a Huey assault copter, with the audience throwing more than just popcorn and peanuts. It was Duke, however, who recognized how well Starduster's death-defying act would work with the jump jetpack. The combination has been a crowd pleaser ever since. And if I failed to mention it, grade E5. So we'll get Starduster out of the package. All right, Starduster being a deluxe figure comes with 2 sets of alternate hands, right? Fists of Fury. He's got a pointer finger. And he's got a more open hand, which, what the hell? I could not, it took me forever to get that out of the blister. He comes with this pretty sick ass gun, right? He comes with a knife, a pistol. I'm guessing these are binoculars of some sort. Got another weapon choice here. And then we've got the jetpack, obviously, with blast effects, right, to show that he's taken off. So we're going to have to steal a stand. We're probably going to steal either Black Manta's stand or Dr. Fate's stand, because they're not long to stay with us. Probably Black Manta. Although I do like him, but we'll probably still Dr. Fate stand. Just put Dr. Fate on a regular DC stand. Right, so that looks pretty good. Then he's got two different helmet choices. I don't normally like covering up their face, but this helmet is pretty damn badass. So Starduster's, no, that's just an alternate head. All right, so we may use this just because that looks pretty badass. Right. So he's going to be a member of our Dragonfly team. I think we're going to move our Halo Trooper and Airborne on the assault gliders probably down in our display as well. And maybe even, we have a Marvel Legends Falcon from Captain America Brave New World who we've repurposed in our lore, and his name's Merlin, because obviously we can't have a Falcon, and a Merlin is apparently a small Falcon. So we may use him. And I got to find somebody to ride second fiddle in the Dragonfly for now that I don't mind having covered up. Glinda I don't mind because even though she's cool, I don't really know her. Like I said, we don't have Wild Bill. I'm probably going to use one of our versions of Duke to be second seat for now until we can come up with a better option. I was thinking about Recondo just because he has a hat. And we have Tiger Force and regular, but we'll see. So we're going to go offline for a bit and get the figures all set up, and we'll be back to talk more about the display. All right, hopefully this light's okay. This is just how we have it set up for now. We got Glinda in the cockpit. I just put number 4 Duke, who I think's a terrible figure, in there because I didn't care about wasting him. You're supposed to have foot pegs to put some guys there, but they're next to a big ass gun, so I feel like that makes no sense. So we just put crazy legs on the ground. I got Starduster getting ready to take off to infinity and beyond. I'm a Buzz Lightyear fan as well. I moved these gliders over here from Fortnite with a Halo Jumper and Airborne. I mean, I know technically they're under the Dragonfly. I just figured air related, right? And this might be a little bit dark, but we got Ripcord over here on one of the foot pegs. And we're just using America Chavez from Doctor Strange right now. We got her in the rescue harness just to see how it would look. But overall, I'm pleased with the Dragonfly. I am not quite sure that I trust the stand 100% yet. And obviously there's no decals on it. Right. We're going to turn the lights off and show you what the batteries do, which is illuminate the cockpit. All right, so my phone light came on now, but you can see the cockpit illuminates, which is quite kick-ass. And then it puts a little light underneath the Dragonfly, which you can't really see, I don't think, at the moment. Oh, there it is. So we can see the light on the bottom of the Dragonfly. I don't know if you can see that. Turns it off, and then turns the cockpit lights off. So overall, I'm quite pleased. Hopefully the air conditioner wasn't making too much noise during the video. It's ball sack sweating hot here with the Dragonfly. Like I said, I got it in an unorthodox manner. We got Crazy Legs first, followed by Glinda, followed by Ripcord and the Dragonfly on the same day. And we don't have Wild Bill. And it does fit quite perfectly where I wanted to put it. So we moved the sewer layer, now we get to see the Dragonfly every day. As always, this has been Trolls Toys. I know this video is a little bit longer than normal. Wanted to try walking through putting the Dragonfly together. Wasn't sure how it would work out. I hope you found it tolerable. I truly appreciate you watching my videos, especially this one. And as always, we'll see you soon.